You're listening to Tales by WZ. This is the story of a man who spent 27 days trying to win his ex back, only to learn she'd already chosen her coworker. As you listen, ask yourself how long you would fight for someone before you finally let the truth do you a favor. My girlfriend said, "I'm choosing myself." I replied, "You just freed me." Then I cut the phone line, canceled the card, stopped funding her life, and paid to break the lease as she tried to move her coworker in, setting off a twist a year later. I'm 29, and I'm writing this from a balcony I can finally afford, drinking coffee that doesn't taste like anxiety and compromise. It's been exactly 1 year since the day my life fell apart, and then quietly rebuilt itself into something I didn't know I needed. I'm an actuary. My life is risk assessment, spreadsheets, outcomes, and reading the fine print. I apply logic to everything. Except I didn't apply any of that logic to my relationship with Becca. Becca was 27, magnetic, an aspiring ceramicist who worked part-time as a barista and full-time as a professional victim of the universe. Something was always happening to her. A bad boss, a jealous friend, a cruel world that just did not understand her art. I loved her. I loved her chaos because I thought my stability would balance it. It didn't balance her. It funded her. The breakup happened on a Tuesday. She sat me down on our beige love seat, the one I bought, and told me she needed space to find her artistic voice. She said I was stifling her creative energy with my questions about budgets and cleaning schedules. She moved out to stay with her sister. She left me with the lease, our dog Barnaby, a golden retriever mix who is the best boy, and a heart that felt like it had been fed into a machine. This is where I should tell you I handled it with dignity. I didn't. For 27 days I was pathetic. I did the pick-me dance. I chased someone who was already halfway out the door and acted surprised when they didn't turn around. Day 7 I sent flowers, not grocery store ones. Imported peonies, her favorite, about $150 a pop. Day 8 to 14, handwritten letters, heavy card stock. I poured out apologies for things I didn't even do. I apologized for working late. I apologized for asking her to do dishes. I apologized for trying to live like an adult in my own home. Day 15 to 21, grand gestures. Tickets to a music festival she wanted. An offer to buy a private pottery kiln for the garage because apparently the solution to everything was me spending more money. Day 22 to 27, silence. I waited like a dog by the door. On day 28, she agreed to meet me. We met at a hipster coffee shop downtown, exposed brick, $9 lattes, the kind of place that makes you feel judged for ordering drip coffee. Becca walked in and she wasn't alone. A step behind her was Todd, 30s. The kind of messy hair that looks intentional. The kind of clothes that look like effort disguised as not trying. Todd is a soundscape architect. I still don't know what that means. I just know he worked or vibed around the coffee shop where Becca worked. They sat down across from me. Becca looked glowing. Todd looked bored. "Jason," she said, using her serious voice, "I got your letters. They were intense." "I meant every word," I said, ignoring Todd. "I want to fix this. I bought the kiln." She sighed and glanced at Todd. He squeezed her hand like he was anchoring her in her truth. "That's just it, Jason," she said. "You think you can buy happiness." Then she said the part that made the room feel smaller. "Todd and I, we have a connection that transcends material things. We've been seeing each other for a few weeks." I didn't even respond at first. My brain stalled like it needed a second to load reality. "A few weeks," I repeated, "since before you moved out." "It just happened," she said, defensive immediately. "We were closing one night and the energy was just there. He gets me, Jason. He understands that art is pain. You just understand Excel." Todd smirked. "She needs to breathe, man." "You're suffocating her aura." I looked at them. I looked at Becca wearing the jacket I bought her, holding the purse I bought her, sitting next to a guy who probably thought a utility bill was a suggestion, and then something strange happened. The grief didn't hit me. The anger didn't hit me. The calculator in my brain turned back on. I started doing the math. Rent, $2,400. I paid 100%. Utilities, about $250. I paid 100%. Groceries, $600. Organic everything because she insisted. Her car insurance, $180 bundled with mine. Her phone bill, $90 on my family plan. The storage unit for her unsold pottery, $150. Streaming services, $85. Emergency credit card in my name with her as an authorized user, usually $500 to $1,000 a month for supplies. I looked at Becca and asked, "So you're choosing Todd?" "I'm choosing myself," she corrected, leaning into him. "And Todd is part of my journey now." I took a sip of black coffee, set the cup down. "Thank you," I said. Becca blinked, confused. "What?" "Thank you," I repeated. I smiled, a real smile. "You have no idea how much I needed to hear that." She frowned like the script had changed without warning. "I don't understand. You're not mad." "Mad," I said, standing up. "Becca, I'm relieved. You just freed me. You have absolutely no idea what you just did for me." I dropped a 20 on the table for the coffees. "Good luck with the aura," I said and walked out. I didn't look back. I got to my car and checked the time. 11:15 a.m. By 11:30 a.m., I called Verizon. Remove the line ending in 4588, effective immediately. By 11:45 a.m., I called Geico. Remove Rebecca as a driver. Remove the 2016 Honda Civic. By noon, I was in my banking app. I saw a pending charge on the emergency credit card, $65 at a record store. Todd needed vinyl, I guess. I disputed the charge as unauthorized activity. She was authorized for emergencies, not boyfriend gifts. Then I canceled the card entirely. I went home. I looked at the empty shelves where her knickknacks used to be. I looked at Barnaby. "Buddy," I said, "we're eating steak tonight." Then I slept for 12 hours straight. The next morning, the text started. "My phone isn't working. Calls keep dropping. Did you forget to pay the bill?" I didn't reply. I was at work, actually doing my job for the first time in a month. "Jason, seriously, I need my data. I'm trying to upload content." "Why is my card declined? I'm at the gas station. This is embarrassing." I finally replied on my lunch break. "We broke up. You chose Todd. I stopped paying for your life. Ask Todd to pay for the gas." The response was immediate. She must have been on Wi-Fi. "You can't just cut me off. That's financial abuse. We had an agreement." The audacity in that sentence was impressive. "The agreement was that we were partners," I wrote back. "You ended the partnership." I accepted the resignation. Good luck. I blocked her number on my personal phone, but I kept email open because we still had the lease to deal with. That's where the real entitlement showed up. Our apartment lease had 6 months left. Both our names were on it, but I was the one who qualified. My income was the anchor. I emailed the landlord, Mr. Henderson, tough older guy, hates drama, loves on-time payments. "Becca has moved out. I will be serving the remainder of the lease alone. Please note that access should be restricted to leaseholders only." She surrendered her keys. "I'm requesting to change the locks for security." Mr. Henderson agreed as long as I paid for the locksmith. Done. $200 well spent. 2 days later, I got an email from Becca. Subject, "You locked me out." She said she came by to get her winter coats and the locks didn't work. She said Todd was with her and told her it was an illegal eviction. I forwarded the email to Mr. Henderson and replied, "You moved out 30 days ago. You surrendered possession. If you want your coats, let me know a time and I'll leave them in the lobby with the concierge. You are not entering the unit." She did not like that. That night she showed up at the door. On the Ring camera I saw her with Todd. Todd was wearing a beanie in July. They pounded on the door. "Jason, open up. I live here." I spoke through the camera. "No, you don't. You live with your sister, or Todd, go away." "I need my pottery wheel," she screamed. "Ah, yes, the pottery wheel. The one I bought for her birthday last year, the one that cost $1,200. "That was a gift," she said. "It's in the storage unit," I said, "and I stopped paying for it. You have 48 hours to clear it out before the facility auctions off your clay." That got her attention fast. The storage unit wasn't in my name. I just paid the bill online, so I canceled autopay and emailed her the login. The next day, I got emails from her friends, people I'd cooked dinner for, people I'd driven home, people who had enjoyed my generosity and now acted like I was the villain. "You're being petty. She's an artist. She can't handle this stress." "Todd is a nice guy. Why are you jealous?" I didn't respond. I just kept doing the math. In 2 weeks, I saved about $1,200. I took Barnaby to an expensive groomer. He looked majestic. I bought a bottle of scotch that cost more than Todd's entire outfit. Then I got a Credit Karma alert. A new inquiry. Becca tried to open a credit card and got rejected. Apparently, the credit score that had been propped up by being an authorized user on my accounts tanked the moment I removed her. Her utilization spiked because she'd maxed out her own small cards. That night, she emailed me again. Subject, "Let's be adults." "Jason, I know you're hurt, but punishing me isn't the answer. Todd and I are struggling. His gig money is inconsistent. I need you to co-sign a lease for us, just for a year until we get on our feet. You know I'm good for it. Please, for the sake of what we had." I stared at the screen for a long moment. She wanted me to co-sign a lease for her and the guy she left me for. The audacity was so dense it could bend light. I replied with 2 words. "No, unsubscribe." I had a feeling it wasn't over. 6 weeks later, I came home to a notice taped to my door. Lease violation warning. Unauthorized occupants. I went straight to the leasing office. Mr. Henderson looked over his glasses. "Jason, your girlfriend gave a key to a gentleman. He's been seen entering and exiting with musical equipment. Security says he tried to set up a recording booth in the common lounge." My blood went cold. She didn't have a key. I changed the locks. Then I remembered the dog walker. Becca used to manage the dog walker. We'd given the walker a spare key ages ago. Either Becca kept a copy or she convinced the walker to let her in. I explained everything to Mr. Henderson. "I did not authorize this. She must have stolen a key or duped someone." Mr. Henderson sighed. "She is on the lease. Technically, she has a right to access, but he does not. And the noise complaints are significant. If he is living there, you are in violation. I will have to evict both of you." This was her play. She figured if she moved Todd in, I wouldn't risk an eviction on my record. I'd just leave and they'd take the apartment while I kept paying because I'm responsible and she's entitled. But she forgot who she was dealing with. I'm an actuary. I calculate risk. I looked at Mr. Henderson and asked, "If I voluntarily terminate my tenancy and pay the break lease fee, what happens to the remaining tenant?" Mr. Henderson smiled. He liked me. He hated Todd. "If the primary income earner vacates and terminates," he said, "the remaining tenant must requalify a loan within 7 days. Income must be 3 times the rent." Rent was $2,400. Becca made maybe $1,200 a month on a good month. To qualify, she'd need $7,200 a month. About $86,000 a year. I nodded once. "Do it. I'll pay the penalty." It cost me $4,800 to break the lease. A lot of money. Also cheaper than supporting Becca and Todd for 6 more months. I packed my life in 3 days. I hired movers. Saturday morning, while I was directing the movers, Becca and Todd strolled in at 1100 a.m. with bagels like it was a casual weekend. They stopped dead when they saw boxes. "What are you doing?" Becca asked, dropping her bagel. "Moving," I said. "I terminated my portion of the lease. I paid the break fee. I'm out." She made a sound like her throat forgot how to work. "You can't." "You can live here," I corrected. "If you can prove to Mr. Henderson by Monday that you make $86,000 a year, can you?" Todd looked pale. "Bro, that's not cool. We have a vision for this space." "Use your vision to manifest a deposit," I said. Then I left them standing in the half-empty living room. I moved into a smaller, modern 1-bedroom across town. It had a balcony. It was quiet. It felt like oxygen. On Monday, Mr. Henderson called me. "She could not qualify," he said. I issued a 3-day notice to vacate. They're refusing to leave. "Not my problem," I said. Mr. Henderson said, since you paid the break fee and signed the release, you're clear. I'm filing for eviction against her specifically. It will go on her record, not yours. I almost felt bad, almost. Then I got an email from Becca. Subject, you ruined everything. She called me a monster. She said Todd's equipment was heavy and they had nowhere to go. She said her parents wouldn't take them because they hated Todd. She said I promised to take care of her. I didn't reply. But I did send a Venmo request for $180 with a note that said, final car insurance payment. She declined it and told me to go to hell. A week later, a collection agency called me. She'd put my phone number down as contact for her delinquent credit card. I gave them her parents' number and blocked the agency. The fallout was fast. Becca and Todd ended up in a motel. I know because she posted a sad selfie with the caption, "Struggle Love. Art is suffering. The world is against us." The background was definitely a Super 8. I poured a glass of wine, sat on my balcony, and did the math again. Even with the lease break fee spread out, I was going to be debt-free in 3 months. The air smelled like freedom. 1 year passed. My life got boring in the best way. I bought a small fixer-upper house with a big yard for Barnaby. I built a workshop in the garage, not for pottery for me. I started restoring vintage motorcycles. Greasy, loud, methodical work. I love it. My savings account grows, my bills get paid, my home feels calm. I haven't dated much. I went on a few dates, but the moment I smell entitlement, I check out. I'm hyper-aware of red flags now. I need a guy who can handle me often means I need a guy to fund me. No thanks. Yesterday I was in the garage sanding a fuel tank on a 1978 Honda. My phone rang. Unknown number. I usually ignore those, but I was waiting for a part supplier. Hello. A pause. Jason, is that you? It was Becca. Her voice sounded thinner, worn down. Becca, I said, why are you calling? He left me, Jason, she cried. Todd, he left me. Okay, I said, and I felt nothing, not joy, not pity, just neutral. He cheated on me with a drummer named Skylar, can you believe it? She was spiraling now. He stole my kiln, he sold it. For drug money or sound equipment, I don't even know. He took everything, he stuck me with the motel bill. That sounds rough, I said, then she said it. I have nothing, Jason, I'm at the bus station. I was thinking about you, about us, about how safe I felt with you. Here it comes, the pivot. I made a mistake, she whispered. I see that now. You were the only one who really saw me. Can I come over, just to talk? Barnaby must miss me. I looked at Barnaby. He was asleep on a pile of shop rags, twitching in a dream about squirrels. He hadn't looked for her once in a year. Becca, I said, where are you staying? I don't have a place, she said. I thought maybe I could crash on your couch just for a few days until I get my art business back on track. The entitlement was still there, buried under tears, but solid as a rock. She didn't want me, she wanted a roof. No, I said. What? She snapped like she'd misheard. No, you can't. You can't just leave me on the street. We were together for 3 years, she said, like that was a contract. And for 1 year, I said, I've been rebuilding the life you tried to dismantle. I'm not your safety net anymore. I'm a stranger who knows your history. You're so cold, she spat. The sadness vanished, replaced by familiar anger. You always were cold, a robot, that's why I left you. And yet, I said, you're calling the robot for help. Goodbye, Becca. Wait, Jason, please, she said, voice cracking again. I have no money, I haven't eaten since yesterday. I paused. I'm not a monster, I'm a person. I'll send you $50, I said. That will get you a meal and a bus ticket to your parents' house. Do not call me again. $50, she snapped. That's insulting. You make. I hung up. I sent $50 with the caption, final transaction. Then I blocked the number. I stood in my garage for a moment and let the silence settle back in. I thought about being angry. I thought about feeling vindicated. Mostly, I thought about the fuel tank in front of me. It had a dent, but with enough time and care, it could be smooth again. I picked up the sandpaper. Barnaby snored. You're right, buddy, I said. Let's get back to work. I didn't save her. I didn't destroy her. I just let her be the main character in her own tragedy while I stepped off the stage and went to have a peaceful life. She wanted freedom, passion, unpredictability. She got it. As for me, my coffee is warm, my dog is happy, and my bank account is strictly for one. And that, honestly, is the ultimate luxury. Lesson 1: if someone calls you stifling when you ask for basic responsibility, they're not looking for freedom. They're looking for funding. Lesson 2: love does not mean paying for someone's lifestyle while they call it their journey. Lesson 3: when someone chooses another person, believe them the first time. Don't spend 27 days trying to negotiate a decision they already made. Lesson 4: boundaries feel cold to people who benefited from you having none. Lesson 5: sometimes the kindest thing you can do is stop being the safety net and let someone face their own choices. What would you have done when she showed up with Todd at that coffee shop? And if an ex called you a year later asking to just crash for a few days, would you help? Or would you close the door for good?